Hello, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this is the last session of this season of Star Trek Kintsugi. Last time, our characters were called to take up a mission for a ship that had been damaged, a specialist mission that required them going to essentially contested space, Cardassian space, near the Badlands, to go and rescue some people who were aboard a crashed Cardassian prisoner transport and get some material from the ship. The rub for this, beyond it being having to kind of sneak through enemy lines and be careful, is that the expert that boarded the ship was former nemesis of Captain Astrid, Lieutenant Commander Astrid Ward, Captain Haskell, who has also been demoted to Lieutenant Commander, along with a Bajoran who became immediately the subject of suspicion. Current nemesis, I guess, not former nemesis. But Haskell was playing his cards very close to his chest. He gave some details, but did not explain how he knew about this. In any case, the ship made it through into the edge of the Badlands. They were able to set their systems to get through some of the dangerous areas and get the sensor work up. And because of some of this nervousness that the crew had, they Lieutenant Savari created a secured systems trait to give an alert if people start messing with the systems on board the ship. They went down to the vessel and couldn't transport inside it, but were able to enter into it. Going inside, they found two groups of prisoners in separate areas. One of the groups being a set of Bajorans, very clearly Maquis there. The other being a set of essentially Cardassian civilian high command, Cardassians who did not agree with the joining up with the Dominion, who were, in important positions of power, who have managed to be arrested and escaped. There was also an Orion in there, which why they're there is unclear. When there was an attempt to talk down the remaining Cardassian crew, that failed pretty badly for Devell. And essentially, there was a shootout, and we're actually rolling back a little bit to that ends. The other sort of teaser tag on the end of that episode was discovering in the cargo hold of this vessel a cracked case and what is clearly a Bajoran orb in there. So that was kind of the teaser end. Mr. Varick, you are in Medbay. And you know that they're conducting this operation. You haven't been assigned to the away team, but you have received a subspace communique, and it is from the Vulcan Institute of Cybernetics. And it basically very, very simply says a vacancy has opened up in a residency position. It has been assigned to you. And then kind of effectively a yes, no at the bottom. So what do we see is Varick's reaction to that?
The last time Dan was here, Varick had been taken by some aliens. Had that been resolved at all?
Oh, yes, yes. They turned out to be pirates. The people who were on the ship and the people that took you were actually the original owners of the ship.
Oh,
And it ended up being that through some work between you and Savari, we're able to finally communicate with them because the pirates had kind of set up a blocker and there was a big firefight and some people were badly hurt. almost killed in that, but managed to get up to the ship, managed to secure that. So that was resolved that way.
Got it. Um, Thank you for that update.
Absolutely.
Varric is 100% interested in taking this position. He was glad to have experienced Starfleet. His opinion has changed, but he um, immediately pushes yes, and maybe pushes it again just to double check
Just
that
to
it's
to
going
doubly
through.
make sure.
Yeah.
I think that is more than reasonable. Uh, as you are kind of looking down at that, you will get a call from the surface from Lieutenant Land, the medical officer. He'll say, Varric, are you on station?
I'm available.
We have an emergency medical transport. We're transporting up a Cardassian disruptor burns. Scramble a team right now. I'm checking on the other bodies right now to see if we've got any other survivors.
Understood. And I make moves to kind of clear some beds and make sure the rest of the staff is ready.
And there is that transporter beam. It clearly, there's some atmospheric interference and so on. So there's that moment of hesitation there, but then it'll come through, and it's a very badly injured Cardassian in that Cardassian like body armor and so on, and they're bleeding out. I can't remember how. Like, is their blood green?
No, black.
Black. So the black blood is kind of coming out of their arm there, and I think we go into that sort of ER cinema verite kind of moving around with the camera work in here as that goes on, and this is a difficulty for emergency medical tests. This person's been very badly injured here. You have the ship's die to assist you here.
Okay, I'll roll
and
three
and
dice.
basically four to get him back to full health. Three, he will be still kind of on that borderline between life and death kind of thing.
I see my surgery focus means that
Absolutely.
uh, applies here.
Yeah. So reason plus medicine, surgery focus, so a 15 or less with four or less being two successes.
The ship's die rolled a 20.
Okay.
In the meantime, I have two successes. I'm going to spend my determination,
Okay.
such as it is, to squeak out four successes.
Okay. Well, with the determination, if you spend it after the roll, you get to re-roll that 20 is what it gets you.
Oh, I thought it doesn't buy me.
If you spend it before you roll.
Shucks. All right, I'll re-roll the 20.
Okay. And that's a critical.
Yeah.
So give me like what do we see on screen of you? Like what value are you tagging here that kind of pushes you through this?
I there's no I in team, but they do great on a curve. I am I think this is a really good contrast for how Starfleet has affected me, especially in these kind of traumatic, trauma medicine scenes. Not only am I working on this Cardassian, maybe we're seeing some other folks get beamed in, and I'm directing kind of all the activity in the ER, or in the med base, such that um, uh, even though I'm kind of leading everything, I'm also coordinating the team.
Absolutely. And I think we'll kind of get to the end of that scene where, we can see that this has gone steady. We see that there are, three other Cardassians, but we can see that their life signs are not. They were clearly killed in whatever went on. We see Juan kind of going around with those people checking on that. Uh, and I think Juan does like from across the room does turn to you and go, excellent work, Mr. Varric. You're the best of us today.
Thank you. It was a team effort.
And then there's this feel this grab on your arm as their Cardassian latches onto you, pulls himself awake, almost pulling at those microsutures, and he will pull himself close to you and he says, "It takes, it takes." And then he will fall back unconscious.
It takes. I just double check his life signs, make sure he is doing okay. And
You will look over and you will see has beamed up with this group of people. Uh, Looks like the away team has come back up, but Duvel has been transported up here into medical. You know that Duvel was in charge of the away team, and she does not look well.
um, so I immediately approach her and say, Lieutenant, is she conscious?
Yeah, she's just standing there a little shell-shocked.
Oh, Lieutenant, why don't you lay down here on this sick bed, and let's check you out.
No, no, no. Just give me an update on who survived.
Um, I'm definitely scanning her while she's asking me that
Okay.
question.
And I think you could do that easily. You can tell her vitals are up. She's agitated. She seems upset. There's nothing physically wrong with her, but you can tell that, and recognize the signs of upset and stress.
You seem agitated. Are you sure there's nothing I can do to help?
And she takes a breath and is like, not right now, Mr. Varric, but I will be making an appointment later.
Understood. Um, I don't have full information about everyone else here in sickbay. It appears as if several, was it only Cardassians that were beamed up,
The
or?
only injured people that were beamed to sick bay were the Cardassians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Several survived due to the efforts of the medical
One.
team. One survived due to the effort of the medical team, and several perished upon arrival.
Thank you for the update. And then she just like silently walks out. She's got
And
a mission debrief to
yeah,
prepare.
we're going to cut forward a little bit. The I'll figure out, we'll talk in a second, whether you've left orbit already, or if there's anything else you want to do at that ship before you go. The orb case has been closed and it has been transported aboard into a secure location. Fields and everything around it, extra security on that. The Bajorans and the Cardassians have been beamed aboard at this point. Ward, you've been given the briefing on this. Like, do we want to start with you in the briefing room, or do we want to start with you organizing things? Where do we want to see you at?
th I mean, the first thing on my list really is to get out of Dodge, right?
Okay.
So, if yeah, I think we'll set that course. Maybe it's a simple kind of reverse course that we came in on. Maybe there's some slight
It
changes,
is
but
a little more
Before we
complicated.
go, before we go though, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt anyone. But before we go, Savar, I would like to figure out what crashed the ship. I don't think we've done that yet.
That'll take some time. So Savar, you're asking the captain to remain in orbit?
I'm suggesting that we
um,
might want to know what happened with this ship. But
that's all
if
well and
we
good. But the longer we stay here, I know for sure what is
okay.
going to damn this ship. I don't have time to be prudent right now, Lieutenant.
Okay, just let me download a bit of information and then we can go.
If you can start on that, Lieutenant
Yeah,
Savari, I don't
yeah,
dismiss your concerns, but
yeah,
The best you can do is get a quick scan off of this Savar before the captain needs you
yeah,
to move out of orbit here.
yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
I think that without a roll, I think you'll confirm that at least one of the causes of the ship's crash does seem to have been some sort of sabotage.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
Ward, uh, as you move out, you will start to get some of the tactical updates from sensors and from Sarkor and the others who are kind of watching on these things. It is very clear that there are a number of Cardassian vessels in this area doing long-range scans. Given the nature of the Badlands, you're going to have to proceed at impulse for a while until you can get to a good position where you can then, go to warp and get out of here. But you're afraid right now that you're going to have to not silent running, but you're going to have to run cautious for a while here. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I think I'd be happy to take it a little bit slower if we, keep as many interfering objects or phenomena in between us and this search pattern. So, uh,
All right.
yeah, let's
Then let's have you do an astrogation roll.
sure.
And essentially, this will be kind of a clock that I'm your successes that I'm gonna tick away against.
Okay. So what will we say?
So it's
Control
definitely
or daring, or
uh,
is it
I
reason?
like
Is it
control
like
plus con
okay?
with
Sure. So let's
astronavigation and a ship's die.
okay. So I'll roll all three. The strange color will be the ship's die.
Okay,
And that is two.
that is two successes and a
Yeah.
complication.
It's a complication because the Badlands is always more complicated, right?
Absolutely, 18, 19, 20. As we established last time. I think there is like you're going. One of the things is that the Badlands has both the plasma storms and the gravitational anomalies. And right now, the particular plasma storms that are in this area are have the winds have shifted on those, and you're having to essentially turn away from the nice way that you came in and having to take another way out of here to get yourself to a clearer section of space. So, what is the scene that we're going to see with you, Captain? Uh, do we want the debrief? Do you want to see you interacting with a particular NPC? Do you want to talk to Haskell? Do you want to get the Cardassians or the Bajorans settled? What do you want?
So many choices.
I know.
Yeah,
I'll come to Savari
I think
after you.
I think a debrief
Okay.
is on the cards, and maybe this is when Mr. Varric can burst in to tell us this strange news, or maybe he wants to do his own investigation on that. I don't know.
Uh,
But a debrief with Devel for sure.
okay. Devel, Savari, some of the other people that were there on the ground. How about we have Varric? Is it okay if we have you at the debrief just because you did the medical afterwards?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, so we come in, Devel, what is the last thing you're saying regarding this incident?
And then I tried to negotiate a peaceful surrender with the remaining Cardassians, but some of them were not interested, and a firefight broke out.
And I'll maybe give Pascal a pointed look and say, we think the fifth columnist within the ranks was suspected. I think that's what prompted this fratricidal incident.
And he'll pause. One of my contacts was among those people who killed, yes. the captain, the gull.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yes. I would have liked to have been able to get him out.
Well, Mr. Varric, perhaps once your patient is well enough to be interviewed, we can arrange that.
Uh, Commander, that seems unlikely in the near future. They're stable, but not doing very well.
Whatever length of time you deem most appropriate, Mr. Varric.
Understood. There was something unusual that happened upon after we stabilized them. They awoke suddenly and leaned in close and said a couple of words, and then were unconscious again.
Leave us in suspense, Mr. Varric.
What did he say? He said, it takes. I didn't understand what he was referring to. I thought that maybe it was just the subconscious reacting.
Any ideas from anyone else? What could that refer to?
I don't know precisely, but they had an orb of the prophets on their ship, and it does not usually vibe very well with the Cardassians. So, but I wouldn't know what it takes refers to. On the other hand, I think there was sabotage on that ship.
Any thoughts, Haskell, in terms of the intelligence? Did you expect an orb to be aboard?
I am not at liberty to answer that question.
You better make yourself liberated to speak about it now. The safety of the ship is at stake, and if the orb is responsible, then I could just dump it, given that it's not
No,
something
no.
And he does smile when you say that, like he sees Savari react. His assistant is there, and she also reacts like wide-eyed and kind of enraged when you say that. I think that's something you'd have to take up with the Bajoran government, Lieutenant Commander.
Well, I'm here on behalf of the Federation. Nothing to add, Mr. Haskell. Okay. Well, we'll confine you to your quarters if you've nothing to add.
It is your ship.
And I think it's like maybe the security officer, like I give him a nod and he takes him away. And
Tavalic, like,
it's yeah, Tavalic is
because
there.
Tavalic does not care for him either. So
Yeah.
Tavalic is probably a little more like he's starting to stand, but not quite fast enough for Tavalic. And Tavalic will kind of manhandle him, and he starts to look a little pissed, but then he calms himself.
I
Captain,
mean, thank you. And I think like what is obvious is maybe if someone else thinks that the briefing is over or the debriefing is over, like I sit them back down so it's obvious to Haskell that this is continuing without him. And I hope that hurts even more.
okay. And Lieutenant Sarkora will say, Captain, would you like me to leave?
Absolutely not.
And
So
she will
we
remain in place.
lieutenants, Sakura and Savari. Let's figure out if the orb is a danger to us, and if it is, let's see what we can do to mitigate those dangers. Lieutenant DeVal, if you're up to it, um, you should be helping them.
Of course.
But that's an Orion. That's not a Bajoran. No,
Your
this
your
is an
point
orb of the
being,
prophets.
She's the chief science officer aboard the ship.
I don't care what she is. This is a Bajoran relic. Outsiders,
it's a little late for that, isn't it? Considering who we recovered this from?
I mean, the Cardassians stole it, you know that. So,
Yes, but we
and
yes,
still need to
the
make sure it's safe for transport back to your planet and your government. Or I
Lieutenant
guess your
Sakura, what
your
is the problem
leaders of faith.
with you getting help from the crew?
the orbs are the manifestation of the prophets themselves. They are a conduit. The interaction with the orbs is a sacred experience. And we'll look at Savari when she says that.
yeah.
And it's not meant for non-Bajorans.
Well, I have to say, I understand your suspicions. I'm suspicious myself. The orbs have been taken by outsiders before. However, the prophets chose a non-Bajoran to be their emissary. A non-Bajoran who was of this organization. So,
If you believe he is the emissary, then yes.
do you believe otherwise?
Yes, I think he's a false emissary. I think that
Oh,
that he is a plant by the Federation in order to put Bajor under Federation's thumb.
I don't believe that. No, no, I've seen the will of the prophets, and nothing there indicated that that was the case. My instinct says he is what he claims to be, and I will follow my instincts.
As I will follow mine.
Far be it
What
me.
does that mean?
You said you'd follow your instincts and your
Yeah,
beliefs regarding the emissary,
yes.
and I do not believe that, and I
Okay,
will continue to not believe that.
okay.
Doctor, you
It's
were about to interrupt?
yes, it's not my place to get involved in your religious debate. If it helps, if it assuages your feelings, I will monitor, but not directly in the same room.
It does.
We have a few other Bajorans on crew. They will be able to assist with this.
And she'll
Is
sit
that?
back.
Thank you, Sakura. Okay, well, report back as soon as you have something interesting.
And there's a pause there where they're waiting to actually be dismissed this time.
Dismissed.
And the group will rise up. Savari, what scene do you want to do next? Do you want to talk to one of the Bajorans? Do you want to examine the orb? Do you want to work on the material that you got from the vessel to find out more? Do you want to do something else? Do you want to talk
I
to the
want to do all
gull?
of that.
Well,
I
which
do
one do
want
you
to
want?
do all of that.
Well,
I know I can only do
and
one.
of course, there's the gull that knows
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't want to talk to the gull. That is one thing that I should do, but I really don't want to. And there's enough other stuff that I need to do. So I think I will save the files for later from the other ship and go and see the orb and try to see if the orb wants to talk to me.
All right. So tell me what protocol has been used to secure the orb.
I think, where would they put it? I think since it might be dangerous to the crew, they might have put it in some kind of insulated storage place where you'd usually put lithium crystals and things like that, explosive thingies, so that it can be insulated from if it has radiation or something like that. It probably has, so its influence will be shielded, or the crew will be shielded from its influence. It's in there. Somebody has thought enough to put a nice kind of table or desk where it sits in its container. The container, I think, popped open last time.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of, I think outside, there are a lot of readouts about radiation levels, about stuff like that. You probably have an observation station nearby.
And we'll see you there. Sarkur has also come down here.
Mm-hmm.
And as I mentioned, probably maybe Ensign Juras, who we've seen as Bajoran, probably, on monitor duty here. I think when you go in to look, I think the first time we've had a chance to really examine the case, and while it looks like one of those Bajoran cases,
Mm-hmm.
you can tell that it is a copy of those. Because those were crafted later,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like, just judging by the materials and the angles of it, that this is a Cardassian knockoff case.
That poor orb. Also, the information on the case is probably not very helpful because the Cardassians just copied it and might be from a different orb, right? I mean, the orbs have different spheres of influence from what I remember. So
Yes, some of them are known, some of them are unknown.
yeah, but so the casing won't help me figure out what orb that might be.
Correct.
Cardassians. And we'll mutter there are only Bajorans here, right? So I will mutter
Correct.
something about spoonheads or something. Under my breath, I'm not supposed to, I know, but I mean, come on, messing with an orb. Gotta be a little leeway here.
Juras looks away as if, like, pretending that they didn't hear it, but Sarkur just kind of nods.
Yeah, of course she would. So in that instance, I will say, I'm not supposed to say that. And then I will concentrate on the orb. Right?
Are you going to open the case then again?
Yes,
Okay.
I am. I am going to open the case, and I'll also, I mean, I'm not an expert on this, right? But I've had an orb experience before. I've had an orb experience before, and also I think it's not about what I choose to do, but about what the prophets choose to do. So I'll try to open my mind to the prophets, so if they want to, they can talk to me, I guess.
Absolutely. Would you please make an insight plus command roll?
I was afraid of that. Insight, command. Well, it's an 11. Wormhole, is that helpful?
No, I don't think so. The orb is a very different thing from the wormhole itself.
Do I have to start with determination again?
Yes, you get one determination each session.
So I can use that, right, to boost the roll.
Yes, you can.
And also I had an orb experience, and
so you would tag that value to do that.
Yes, I think I would. Yeah, it feels appropriate, right?
All right. Then let's have you you've got 2 successes, and let's have you roll that insight plus command roll.
And how many dice do I roll now?
2d20.
Okay. Let's see. Well, one of those wanted to talk to me.
And there is that thing again that they look a little bit like hourglasses, like bright
Mhm.
floating hourglasses, different colors and so on. This one is a more purplish color. Uh, and while it is in place, it always looks like it's turning.
Mhm.
And there will be a flash for you. And tell me about a time during the occupation when you had the opportunity to kill a Cardassian, but you didn't take it.
I think this was close to the end. That might have been right before we actually got caught, right? So we were sneaking into the facility. I was kind of scouting out the way because I had a lot of codes and permissions that others wouldn't have. And then I saw one of the Cardassians walk around. I wasn't supposed to be here. And I debated. I could have killed him, and would have been that. This was a smash and grab and run, but I hadn't killed anybody before. I mean, I was a sabotage person. I was not a killer. So I kind of stayed my hand, and I think
But
I,
but here I'm going to add to
but
that, if I may add on to that.
sure,
But I think that choice cost you. I think that choice, like that person later on alerted some other people that made the situation difficult. Some of your people got injured.
yeah, yeah, that was not a good choice. But I'm not a killer, not a murderer, not an assassin.
But here you have the chance. There he is. He's right there. You can take the opportunity, this spoonhead, strike them down, and you know if you do this, then your friends will not be injured. You know that one of your friends will not be sickened afterwards and die in transport.
Yeah, that's a hard choice. Can we cut the scene
Sure,
here so I have some
absolutely.
time to think about that?
Absolutely, 100%.
Thank you.
Uh, Mr. Varick, let's come back around to you. What scene do we want to see with you here at this point?
Um, I um, I think I want to. I think I'm focused on the Cardassian patient and seeing if I can get away with reviving them. So
Okay.
I'm kind of doing some deep medical scans. I'm a little risk averse, I think.
Yeah.
I
But
got a
you
couple
had
of
four
medical.
successes, so he's he's good.
He's
Um,
good.
and I think you've got him stabilized. That's you think if you bring him back to consciousness, it won't be risky.
I call Captain Ward and I say I'm going to try to revive the Cardassian.
Um, I think Ward will come down to the med bay for that.
I say, Doctor.
Uh,
Oh,
oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, Doctor Nguyen, will you assist me, please? And we do what we need to do to try and revive him.
Uh, and let me ask you this. Do you have him restrained? Has that occurred to Varric?
Not even a little bit,
Okay.
but I do think it occurred to other people.
Hmm.
like you're
I
getting the
mean,
hypo spray and somebody says, Mr. Varick, do we want to secure this person?
Um, and then I kind of rub my arm where he grabbed me, and I'm like, yes, that would be the logical move.
And they will.
and I think when that happens, Ward takes her hand off the phaser, getting already strapped up.
That's good.
uh, and you will hit him with the hypo, and he will come to and immediately test the restraints, like immediately, and
May
Federation dogs, do your worst.
may I recommend relaxing? We have some questions for you.
I'm sure you do, Vulcan.
My name is Varric.
I don't care.
May call me Mr. Varric or Dr. Varric. You awoke earlier to warn us that it takes. What were you referring to?
And I think you've got enough xenopsychology and insight and stuff that you say that, and you see him kind of look like he looks confused. Like, and he says, and pretty sure he says, I don't know what you're talking about. What kind of mind game is this?
This is no mind game.
Vulcans don't play the games because they're too much fun.
uh, I say, you woke up after we stabilized you and you said it takes. Do you have no memory of this?
The last thing I remember was realizing that our captain, was a traitor to the Empire, and there was another who sided with him, and
Be that
there
as
was
it may, that is irrelevant to the current situation.
I am telling you what I remember. I was hit with the disruptor blast, and the next thing I remember was being brought to wakefulness to see your horrible pointy-eared face.
This is the season finale, right? So I
Yeah,
feel like maybe a mind meld
Ooh, cool.
would be
Mr.
absolutely.
Varric, um, if there is some entity speaking to our unfortunate prisoner, are you sure that's wise?
It may not be wise, Captain, but it is logical. This person has information that we need, and it appears I am the best means to get it. So I do the thing.
Okay. Uh,
Yay.
Are there even rules for this?
there are. Well, Booker, I don't want to look them up, so we're just going to do insight plus
I don't want you
uh
to look them up either.
yeah, let's say insight plus command.
So I'm pretty mediocre at this.
You're average at this?
Uh, yep.
I mean, is there any way I can help? Ward asks Varric.
Is there?
There. Um, I think that when I'm like putting my hand on his face, he's kind of squirming around. So maybe Ward can hold his face.
I like that. Uh, so
Yes, it's all the same thing.
yes.
Mhm.
All
Uh,
right.
so ask Ward, you will roll 1d20, and Varric, you'll roll 2d20.
Nice.
So one
Yeah.
success there.
One success.
"13 seems unlikely to be a success, unless it's. I mean, I was thinking it was fitness and something else, but
Yes.
yeah.
Uh, so here is what I think you will get. I'm going to give you essentially a partial answer here to the question you're kind of asking. Uh, you will realize as you are kind of mind melding and reaching into here that there are gaps here in his mind and in his memories, spots that are absent, uh,
Ooh.
almost aphasia-like. And it's not just like recent memories, but it's other memories. Uh, it like it's he probably doesn't even realize how much is gone.
Mm. But I get nothing on what it takes means.
No, that's
Part of the
definitely
thing that's gone.
wiped.
Captain, I'm sorry I could not get you any more information, but it does appear as if this man's memories were tampered with, or at least in some way he was prevented from remembering certain things. If it is okay with you, I need to go rest because mind melding with a Cardassian is exhausting.
Being around Cardassians is exhausting, but yes. Get some shut-eye. I shall see you on your next shift. Hopefully there are no more medical emergencies.
Devel, let's come to you. Who do you want to talk to? We've
I
got these
think,
Bajorans, we've got these Cardassians, we've got this Orion.
yeah, I think she's going through the the motions of the interviews with the refugees, I guess is the best term for them.
Hmm.
And doing like a 2-on-1 interview, probably to Vilix there. And a lot of it feels probably very routine, similar, samey. It's like the Cardassians, I don't know, but
The card. So let me give you the quick, like, we'll give you kind of the montage of the interaction, and then
sure.
if one of us wants to dig in deeper. Uh, the Cardassians, we've got a very uh restrained, cool, calm Gull who doesn't seem at all bothered by the situation. She seems, you know, uh also seems like she knows Savari.
Mhm.
The person who's more the civilian commander seems certainly more upset. But he also seems like he's in charge of the couple of other Cardassians that are there. Um, and he is asking of people's health and so on. And he does seem like he's the most kind of involved. And you know, what happens next? How do we do this? We do have some information for the Federation, that kind of thing. The Bajorans that were identified for you by Savari, is at least one of them is its senior Maquis person. They're very close to the chest. We are simple Bajoran traders. We're simply captured by Cardassian scum. And they very much stick to their story on that. Um, and then there's the Orion,
Mhm.
and the Orion says, "I will talk to you, but I don't want to talk with him here."
Yeah, I'll just turn and give Tavalic a nod.
And Deville, very, very, like, very uncertain about that, but you're a little bit outrank him, so he will leave, and she will lean back and she will say, "You're the one whose mother went to Delta, right?"
That's surprisingly accurate.
I am of your mother's clan. It is certainly spoken of. I'd heard that her daughter had gained a significant rank within Starfleet. Uh, we are well met here, though your mother is certainly a persona non grata back home.
Well, I don't think she really cares about that.
I don't imagine that she does.
And why should I care about that?
I'm not a pirate.
That's what most pirates would say.
Absolutely. That's the
Mhm.
instinct that you should have. I am I am a recruiter. My job, I am of a family that has taken a longer view on what happens to Orion. We have shifted our interests in work away from the old craft. We've been given some leeway in this, and we have been trying to assemble people for we want Orion to be not just a pirate world, but a world that can pursue science and exploration and diplomacy just as strongly as any other. Because we recognize, at least my family recognizes, that what we do is unsustainable in the long run, given what's going on with the Dominion, given what's going on with the Federation.
And how did that wind you up? Prisoner with a Bajoran traders, as they claim.
There was the possibility that a senior Cardassian scientist who was amongst the civilian leadership was going to be escaping. And I was sent to see if we could recruit them, if we could offer them a place. And I would have liked to have done that, but the possibility, if you want it, you could be the chief science officer for all of Orion.
Mhm.
You could be the one who sets our research agenda, our goals, our path, our progress forward.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm very flattered by the offer.
I'm putting that offer out there. Obviously, you won't be deciding now, and obviously, we would have to talk further so you would see what we have.
Of
But I will
course.
say we have a small fleet of ships. Some of them scavenged and some of them built that are turned to these purposes. You would have your own science research and exploration vessel to captain.
Again, very flattered by your offer. I will need some time to think on it.
Oh, 100%. This offer will remain open.
Okay, it's good
I
to.
just want you to know that.
I want to try to get a read on her. Like,
Absolutely. So insight plus command?
Yeah, I got nothing else that helps, I don't think so. I don't think etiquette helps, but
No, I don't think so.
what just happened?
Woo. Apparently that die creates some frost sounds too. Holy shit.
Wow,
Jesus Christ.
what the hell?
That is wild.
How do I stop it?
I just refreshed it. Oh my God. I didn't realize they had sound effects on DD dice.
We're in the Badlands now.
But three successes. Um,
Don't love that, but three
yeah.
successes is nice.
Uh, she's she's sincere.
Okay.
She's straight. She's like you are clearly like she is seeing you like a golden goose perched on a pedestal.
Mhm.
But because you are exactly what she is looking for.
Okay.
Um, uh, and I think you can tell that her story is true. She's not
It's not
Haskell's
Emerald
inside
Chain or
person.
anything.
She's not associated with any of them.
Okay.
She legit got caught in the middle.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I don't know if I had any extra momentum, but I'd put it in the pool
Okay, we'll
because
put
we
one in
have
the pool,
zero
let's say.
momentum
Yeah,
right now. So
we'll put that in there. Uh, we're going to come back with Ward, and then back to Savari. But we're going to take our first break here. Ward, what scene would you like to call?
Well, based on what I just said, maybe we've a chance to see Ward speaking to Varric. I mean, maybe there's a good reason, but I think we just would need to see them both on screen.
Okay. Like you've
Maybe
gone into their
before
office, where Varric usually has counseling sessions, and you're standing there like we're just here to talk to them, but then maybe somehow it shifts into more of a so so Mr. Barrick, are you surprised, pleased? What's your reaction when Ward comes to you kind of in what's clearly slightly off from their usual approach to you?
Um, he's Vulcan, so everything's cool. Um, but I do feel the need to provide a report. So, um, and I think we returned the Cardassian to sort of uh, let's say sedated state. And I am still recovering from the attempted mind meld. And um, I've made a note in my log to never, ever try that ever again. Um, and Captain, I'll, keep you informed if the Cardassian should awake and anything should become clearer. Dr. Nguyen's looking at potentially reconstructing their memory. It's not an expertise of mine, but they indicated that it might be a possibility. Was there something else you needed?
it's been a day. It's been a few days. Um, I think dealing with our Bajoran colleagues would be a lot easier if I wasn't overly on edge with Pascal aboard. I'm not sure who I'd prefer to strangle, which is something I really shouldn't be saying or thinking or feeling, but that's you're like outside of my chain of command, so I feel like I can vent.
You are more than welcome to tell me anything you need. I do not know that I am aware of the incidents that happened with Haskell. I believe that that is, as you humans say, above my pay grade. But I do understand that um, these conflicts have a way of reverberating throughout time. Starfleet ships deal with many, many challenges, often at the same time, but these seem, based on my read of the crew, to be very personal as well.
Well, obviously, different members of crew take their oaths, their principles very seriously, and honest colleagues will disagree. Uh, Pascal has in the past abused the trust of people serving with him to his own ends. And I do not know what the admirals in Starfleet are thinking if they put him back where his decisions can harm us.
Would you not agree that wars such as the one that we are experiencing now um, make for very complicated decisions?
Yeah, and that is above my pay grade, I suppose.
What is it that you need, do you think, to see through this mission? What is it that would be most helpful to you that would let you get through the remainder of our engagement with these folks?
I need an honest report from our Bajoran colleagues who are investing in this orb. They're the ones best placed to assess it. But of course, they have their own biases.
On the one hand, it is perhaps best for us not to interfere with these artifacts that's artifact that is so important to them. But on the other hand, maybe a neutral party can intervene. Is there anyone on the crew who could serve as a neutral party?
Someone who isn't a member of the Federation, isn't Bajoran, and someone who's not a member of Starfleet, maybe.
Captain, it does not take logic to see through your suggestions, but I was not suggesting myself. I'm kind of tired.
Obviously. But I think if the obvious suggestion is off the table, I am out of options.
If it comes to that, you know I will do my duty.
As we all must. Thank you, Mr. Varric. Perhaps if you were a member of the crew, you could read yourself into your patients' histories and be more efficient.
That is something I will consider.
I think I could give you some acting rank instead of, medical intern, which I think is what the personnel file says.
Um, that will not be necessary at this time. I suppose I should let you know that when when my internship is up, I will be returning to Vulcan. I've been offered a position at the Vulcan Cybernetics Academy.
Okay. Well, congratulations. I know that's what you were probably aiming for. Um, do you need some kind of referral? Or is that being waived for your entry to this institute?
My entry has been secured, but if it would help you to write a letter of recommendation, if it will help you process some of the things that you've been dealing with, you are more than welcome to write a letter and address it.
Human concerns. Hmm.
And I think the out button for that scene is uh, the over the comms. Uh, uh, Titasa to Captain Ward.
Ward here. Um, do you need
We,
me in engineering?
uh, yeah, we have a problem, and I'm going to cut on that. And we cut to Savari. You are
Yeah,
in that moment in time.
yeah, I am. And I know, I know it would be rational, right, to do this. It would be useful and it would help and it would be all of these things. But the orb told me to trust my instincts. And my instinct is still that I am not a murderer. I am not an assassin. I am not. I will, however, if I have the leeway to do that, mess up around a bit with the engineering section, raise an alarm somewhere else so that this person will go, which didn't happen the first time. So maybe I can change the past this way by leaning into my strength instead of becoming someone who I'm not.
Let us have you roll
Ooh.
reason plus engineering.
What am I supposed to roll?
2d20.
Reason. Reason?
Yep.
Reason. Okay. Plus engineering, and I think it's sabotage this time, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, absolutely.
So reason, engineering, that's a 14. I don't think I can use the ship systems for that.
No.
Yep, but I got 2 successes because I
You got
thought
2
this.
successes
Yeah,
and a complication for this.
nice.
So I think you do it,
Mhm.
but this sabotage is bigger than you would have thought.
Mm.
And it will go off and you will see explosions around the facility and
Oh,
you will feel it change and you will feel satisfaction in that moment that you have changed things, even as you're like, this feels wrong,
mhm.
that you didn't stay with the choice that you made before. Would you please add a trait to your character?
Mhm. Sure. What kind
Wraith
of trade?
tainted.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. This is not a good orb, I guess. Love it. Thank you.
And I think you'll come
And
back and you feel
mhm.
this weird mix of dread and exhilaration as you come back to the present.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
I think you'll see Sarkor standing there, and this has just been, as with these orb things, it's just a matter of a few seconds. And you look at her, and she looks at you, and she looks away, which
Mhm.
is an absolute look of shame and guilt.
Okay, and I look at her and I say, "Did you know? Did you know what this is?"
I think I think this is the orb of exile, but I don't know what that means.
Painted. That's what that means. It's not something happened to this. I can't explain it, but this is not this is not a good. This is not good. This is not of the prophets.
And you see her look and go, no, no, it is. It is.
No, I don't think so. The prophets, they don't feel like that. It's not, it's something very different. Or maybe not very different, but corrupted. This is corrupted.
And
I close the case.
Okay, click that closed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cut from you to engineering. Ward, we're going to do before I come back around to other people's seats. Lieutenant Tatas is like, I don't understand it, Captain. Internal sensors are down all over the ship. It's broad system. I can't get any kind of scans or detections on the interior. Our external sensors are still up and operational. We're not flying blind. We're still able to trace and track the Cardassian patrols, and we're moving along at the fastest clip, but nothing internally right now. And I've run several diagnostics, and I can't get an explanation for it. It's like the ship's
Word to
forgotten.
Villic.
It's like the ship's forgotten how to do internal scans.
I'll alert Tvilic. Muster your security force. Check on our guests.
Priority, sir? Which guests should we secure? What are your orders, sir?
Let's check the Bajorans first,
Okay.
and then I think like I am. As much as I've said I don't trust Haskell, right? I think I am maybe thinking mistakenly, maybe, or that he can do this, right? I don't know. Uh, I think the Bajorans are first on my list,
Okay.
despite my experience with Haskell.
Absolutely, sir. I'll begin to dispatch. Uh, do you want to go to yellow alert?
Well, I think if
Again,
we'll,
this is Tvilic jumping the gun in
yeah,
that way
yeah,
that he does.
let's stay with a full sweep by security staff first.
Okay.
If only it'll give us the element of surprise.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Fatasa, let's run a diagnostic. I'm not sure.
I'll continue to run diagnostics here. Savari's down with the orb. Is the other person I'd want to get on this. Here's the thing. And she pauses, goes, I checked Savari's alert thing that she set up, and I haven't gotten any pings on anyone doing anything.
Yeah. This orb just gets better and better, right? Let's get Savari up here.
Okay. Let's come back to Mr. Varick. You're in the med bay there, and you will see one of the Cardassians come in. There is a security person with them, and they will kind of clearly look around and, go over to the med station there and kind of look at the scans and then clearly look around for who's in charge here.
Is there something I can help you with?
Are you the attending physician?
Yes, I can help you.
I just wanted to check on the status of your patient here.
As you can see, they've been sedated, but they are otherwise stable. May I ask what you're interested in?
I wanted to make sure that they were still alive. I understand that a number of the other crew members died.
It is unfortunate, but such is the nature of these conflicts. They died upon arrival, yes.
May I see the bodies?
I think they've been dealt with. So,
And like his face will go like what greenish color? He'll go kind of greenish white. What
um,
what what is it that you mean dealt with?
um, we have a procedure for expelling bodies into space after they've passed away.
You fired my son's body out into space here in the Badlands? Have you no decency? Have you no?
I'm saying that's our procedure. I don't know if it was actually
Well, then
performed.
check on it.
Uh,
And he's just kind of enraged, and that the Cardassian that is strapped in, you will see he is awoken at this noise and has started to laugh.
oh God. Uh, there to Dr. Nguyen.
They didn't even care. They just fired his body out. They fired my brother's body
You will
out. They
need to,
kept me alive and fired him out, Father.
sir.
Your blessed golden child is now gone. This is what you get.
The sick bay is not the place for family conflicts. I'm going to ask you all to be quiet.
And
Uh,
you will see this Cardassian minister look around, and you will see him grab up
no.
the nearest like medical instrument, and he charges over to that bed with blood in his eyes.
We're going to pull out all the stops, and I'm going to grab him and do a Vulcan nerve pinch
Okay.
on him.
We get all the Vulcan specials here
Yeah,
in the final
in our
episode of
season
the season.
finale. People have been waiting.
Absolutely.
Our Reddit is alive with where's all the Vulcan stuff?
Yes. Then I think that is going to be a daring plus security.
Fantastic. Oh God. One success.
So that is a
Terrible,
success.
terrible.
I think you will get a hold of him. Uh, but and you'll knock him out, but you feel as you kind of let him go, you don't feel well.
Yeah, I've touched way too many Cardassians today.
Yeah. Uh, could you please add a trait to your character
Yes.
called Wraith Touched?
Oh no, not me too.
Yeah, like you don't feel well, but you've
No.
definitely knocked this guy out, and the Cardassian on the thing is just laughing. I never thought I'd get to see a Vulcan save my life. This is truly a day of days. Twice.
If there's a third time, you can be sure I will think twice about doing it.
Oh,
Now I'm gonna go watch some musicals on the holodeck because I need some time to recover.
you will uh yeah, you will go and find yourself doing that. Uh the musicals, like they are they are comforting to you. Um and uh you will find yourself there locked into it. Uh Devel, um, what do we see you doing? You finished up the
Well,
interviews with the
yeah.
Cardassians and the Bajorans. The Bajorans are still quiet. You've gotten word that internal sensors are down. You know that Savari and Sarkar have been down at the orb. What do you want to do?
Yeah. Well, I guess I should go supervise them like I was supposed to. Like I said I would. Of course, they went behind my back. That's my story.
Uh, so how about we say you catch Savari as she's getting called to engineering? Does that seem reasonable?
Sure.
Once I'm out of this room and I will seal it behind me, I would call Captain Ward though. I mean, we can just crosswire this.
Yeah. Well,
Like I'm coming
so
out
you're
and
coming out.
yeah.
Devel, you will see Savari come out. Sarkar heads out, goes in a different direction, and you see Savari go over to the comms panel.
And I think you can see that she looks truly upset and
Savari,
worried.
is everything
It's
okay?
it's not an orb of the prophets. Or if it is a corrupt one. There's something so very wrong. I touched it and no,
Okay.
this was not this was so wrong. This is not what an orb of the prophets is supposed to feel like. And I think, you know, it's I never believed in the power race because that seemed like a child story, right? Like demons, come on.
Okay,
But
Savari, I don't know what that is. Um, why
I
did you
don't know
touch the
myself
orb? We have
because it's
quarantine
an
procedures for a reason. You were not, we're supposed to
it,
study it, not
it
interact with
did.
it.
I mean, it's an orb of the prophets. That's how you study it.
Okay.
And I have been touched by the prophets before, you know.
I,
So
I, yes.
and now we know that it's a really bad thing, but which I think we wouldn't have gotten if I just had stared at it for a while.
Savari,
Okay.
you know in your heart it needs to be destroyed.
Yeah, yeah, it does, but I don't have any fucking idea how to do that. We do have a Kai, don't we? Is that Kai Wynn right now?
Pretty
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah, then maybe Kai Wynn should take care of it.
Well, unfortunately, that the Bajor is under Cardassian occupation at this moment.
Yeah.
Oh, again, damn.
All right.
Okay. Yeah,
Walk
okay.
walk
Then
me through the test that you ran. Maybe someone with an outside perspective can shed some different light on this.
okay. I touched it. I opened my mind to it. I
Okay. That's
was
not
brought.
a
I got
scan,
a.
Savari.
That is how you interact with an orb.
Okay.
Wow. It's like you can scan it all you want. You will get no information. The Cardassians have scanned these things for decades, and they got nothing because
Well,
this is.
they're hardly the best scientists.
I mean, they're hardly the worst as well. So they got nothing at all. Others have studied these with science. They get nothing. It's like, yeah, there's some radiation that is similar to a wormhole. Woo. But the way to really study them is to interact with them. It's not science. This is religion, I'm sorry to say.
Well,
Nah.
there's no difference in my opinion, so.
Okay, so I did the thing. I did the tried and true and proven way to interact with it. I touched it, or I reached out to it. I didn't touch it per se, but I opened my mind. And I was in the past, and I had a vision, and it was wrong. It was very, very wrong. This thing wanted me to become something that I'm not. And well, and I can still feel it kind of in my mind. So It's not very pleasant right now. I'm a little keyed up. I think Ward should know about this instead of me yammering at you. This thing is wrong, and I think that might be what the Cardassian in the was talking about.
In the med bay.
In the med bay, that it takes, because this is the thing that could refer to.
All right. Well, I'm going to enable stricter quarantine on this item.
Yes, thank you. Nobody should get near this.
So what do you tell Ward? Like, let's like, what is it that you tell Ward here, Savari?
Captain, I have had interaction with this orb thing, and it's not an orb of the prophets. There's something extremely wrong with it. And I think those people who have been exposed to it, that might be corrupted in some way, shape, or form.
You saying you've been corrupted, Lieutenant Savari?
I hope not. I don't know. I can't say. I don't. Something here doesn't feel right. I mean, I'm not still myself. That was the choice I made, but I didn't like that.
I mean, we make choices all the time that change who we are, Lieutenant.
Exactly.
Change is part of life.
Yes, but some changes are worse than others. Wouldn't you agree?
Obviously. Hindsight is 2020.
Well, I think me not choosing to become a murderer is maybe a good choice, right? Honestly.
You were a member of the resistance to the Cardassians.
Yes. I was a saboteur, not an assassin. Look, it's neither here nor there. There's something about this thing is very wrong. And
Okay.
I think it might have touched some of the people on that ship. Might have even had to do something with the crash. I don't know how,
But now that it's in full quarantine, looking at Deval pointedly, no one else can interact with it. Is that accurate?
I don't know. These things, the orbs, they don't follow the rules of science. So yes, we have it under full quarantine. Everything's sealed off and up, and nobody's getting to it. But I don't know if that it can do anything.
Well, I mean, can you reach out to it right now?
I will not reach out to it, but unless this is a direct command. Sorry.
I'm trying to figure out if our quarantine measures are effective, or if I will have to sling it into a sun to protect the ship.
Yes, Savar, you think that's what you ought to do. Really, there's the plasma storms around here and the sun. That's probably the best way to destroy this orb.
I mean, I think we do have to destroy this thing. There are plasma storms outside. I think that might work.
And what does Sarkor think of this?
She left. I'm sorry I didn't keep tabs on her. I was a little upset, and I wanted to get the information to you as quickly as possible. She left. I don't know where she's gone. She hasn't touched it, though, I think.
Oh, you're pretty sure while you were in there, she had an orb experience as well.
Oh, okay. I think she might have had the experience as well. I don't know why I'm so sure about that.
Well, let's see if we can get her opinion.
Yeah.
We're still pretending that she is a member of Starfleet.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, her opinion might be valued.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Uh, so, uh, tell me, Varric, you are a person who has a strong sense of mental discipline. At what point and how do you think you realize that there is something wrong with you, mentally or emotionally?
I'm watching a musical and I start to cry. And it's not sobbing, but it's just tears running down my face at a crucial moment of the musical. And um, and I also realized that I had been singing along, and that is not something that I ever did before.
What do you do?
I take out a medical tricorder, which I obviously carry everywhere I go, and
He's off the chain.
and I start scanning myself.
Okay. Uh, then let us have you make a reason plus medicine roll.
Well, that's a roll I can do.
Okay. Um, I'm going to take it up to difficulty 3 on this.
Oy. Do I get a die for the tricorder?
Yeah.
So that's one success I'm working with right now. Oh, wait. You know what? I have not used any of these ridiculous talents that I have. Did you say difficulty 3?
Yes.
Oh, we only have one momentum in the
Yeah.
pool. All right.
Do you want to spend a stress to try and tamp down on that wraith touched?
Um, should I roll the tricorder first?
Well, what I'm telling you is that if you do that, that will reduce the difficulty by 1.
All right, I'll take a stress.
Okay. Since you feel yourself having to push down on something, and
Right.
roll the tricorders roll.
So only 2 successes.
2 successes. So, but you've lowered it down. Uh, there is something you're getting just the slightest odd energy readings. Like there is something non-corporeal that is around you, that is there, and is affecting you. And you think that if you were not a Vulcan, that you'd be in very bad shape. Like it could be pushing on your impulses. It could be driving you strongly.
I call Tavilik.
Uh, Mr. Varick, it's something where we're kind of in the middle of
I would like you to confine me to quarters. I'm presently in holodeck 2.
do you have a reason?
I believe I've been infected by whatever is infecting other members of the crew or the folks that we found. And I don't know what effect it will have on me. It is taking every ounce of concentration to prevent it from overtaking me. So I would like to stop having this conversation and be confined to quarters.
All right, I'm going to send somebody up there where it's too bad I kind of needed you in medical to do this autopsy.
Autopsy?
We just found one of the Bajorans that we brought aboard the ship. They've been murdered.
Have your escort take me to sickbay.
Okay. And I think we'll cut away from that to Ward. Uh, you're getting ready to, like, even as all of this is going on, getting ready to the maneuvering to almost to a good place where you can go to warp and you can warp to get yourself some distance from Cardassian space, and you will give the orders, and nothing will happen. And Tatasa will call it from engineering, Captain, uh, there's something wrong with the warp core. Uh, we've got I've got green across the board, but we're not going to warp. The warp energy is going somewhere. I don't know where it's going. I think we need to not go to warp now until I can get this figured out.
Okay. I'll relay that order. Um, Senior staff in my ready room, including you, Mr. Tvilic.
Yes, sir. Uh, Mr. Varick has asked that he be confined to quarters, but I'm sending him to medical to do the autopsy on the Bajoran we just found.
No, you can bring him up as well.
He seemed to think that there was something wrong with him.
Indeed, there is something wrong.
All
Uh,
right.
he's just oversensitive.
And I think we'll cut to Mr. Varick. You're being escorted to medical when the security person who's escorting you will get down their comms. Belay the order, bring Mr. Varick to the captain's ready room for a meeting. And the security person goes, "Will you come with me, Mr. Varick?"
I would rather go to sickbay, but logic dictates that I should be observed at all times. So yes, I will go with you.
Okay. Uh, so I want to give Devel and Savari a chance to do something before we do that meeting. Let's start with Devel, and then we'll do Savari, and then we'll bring everybody back together.
Yeah, I think she's running some scans on this orb, or the fake orb, or whatever it is. You know, she's checking for radiation it might be putting out, you know, checking the logs of who's come in and who's interacted with it, who's transported it. It's just, she's not
Why don't
touching it because she
Sure.
promised that she would not, even though that's really, what the player wants to do. But
Okay. Uh, let's have you make a reason plus science roll here.
hmm right. Okay. Would anthropology help at all?
I don't think from this. Uh,
Okay.
no, I don't think so.
Maybe someday I'll use that focus. This focus. Let's see. Oh, and do I get a ship die?
Yeah.
Okay, so oh wait, let me clear that. I don't know what the ship means, but eh.
A
So I'm
ship is a
mixing.
crit, so that's two
Okay,
from
so
that.
three successes total
Three
then.
successes. So what's your first question?
Right.
I mean, here's the thing. The first thing I'll tell you is like you have some things in your files about what they know about the orbs and the energy
Yeah,
signatures and
like
things like
because
that.
Federation has not really been allowed to study these, so
Right, right. And like this definitely looks like that, like the same sort of pattern, what they know, what they've seen about it, the minimal that they know, this definitely syncs up with that. It is definitely, as far as you can tell, a Bajoran orb.
okay. Um, what's I I'm gonna steal my PBTA go-to
I know.
questions. What here is not what it appears to be. Like, I'm looking at like, all right, what are their wavelengths? Because, we've dealt with so many things so far that interacted with warp cores differently, like the plant growth and those that affected species differently. Because Bajorans are, I she's thinking, well, maybe it's just affecting Bajorans differently.
There is a weird thing that you're picking up of like, how do I put this best? Of some qu- quantum energy in the sense that there's something happening with the orb, not necessarily intrinsic to the orb, but is also happening simultaneously at a distance. It is having that kind of like, it is something that is connected in a different way than you would expect, that is around and about through the ship.
All right.
What's your second question?
Um, what was my first one? What should I be on the lookout for?
Uh, that there is something, some energy that is operating both here at the orb and in different places on the ship. Like, I think that's,
Okay.
you realize that's what's kind of going on.
All right.
And I
Yeah.
think with your thing, you have a third question.
Oh, do I?
Yeah,
Okay.
feel free to ask.
All right. Oh God, I'm so terrible with questions.
And you can,
Um,
you've got two things. So if you want to ask like a narrower in question on what from the answers you've just got, feel free.
okay. Is there is there a way to protect ourselves from this unknown energy?
Not that you're aware of, not that you're seeing. There's no way
That's fair.
to block it out.
Okay.
Now, I forget, do you get an extra question?
Uh, I mean, I asked two more questions so I can make the rapid hypothesis
Okay.
under the theoretical understanding. So,
Okay.
orb theories, I guess.
Uh, I will tell you, how about I'll give you an answer to a question you haven't asked rather than giving you a
Okay.
trait. How does this?
Sure.
You will find as you're going through, like, okay, what is this? What's going on? What is this? You will find there is a match to this energy pattern in Starfleet archives,
Okay.
to this entity.
All right. Yeah.
It
I love
has been,
research.
some version of this entity has been encountered before.
It's a cute.
It went by the name Redjack. It was a parasitic organism
Was that Jack the
that
Ripper?
fed on violence and murder. It had several different names, but went like Kesla, Baratus, Redjack.
Let's check the Ripper.
And you'll kind of like, I think we see the scan thing. We do that thing where the overlays match up and it goes, like 98% match.
Okay. Awesome.
And that's where we'll take our 5 minute break. I want to come back and give Savari an opportunity for a scene before we bring everybody back together. Okay. So we're going to take 5. Savari, what would you like to do before we do this scene with the crew? Do you want to interact with the Gull? Do you want to interact with Sarkar? Do you want to interact with somebody else?
I think if I were a more sensitive person, I would go to my quarters and go to my shrine and try to cleanse myself. But hell, I think I might have noticed at some point that the internal senses shut down, right?
Yes.
So my ship has a problem. That's my priority. So I will go and try to figure out if that is a technical thing or a spiritual thing or whatever, you know?
Uh, let's have you make a uh, control plus engineering roll.
Okay.
Computers as your focus.
Oh, nice. Okay. And I know my ship, so this is a technical kind of problem,
Yep.
right? So I get the bonus D20.
Yep.
Nice. Nice. Okay, so I get 3D20s.
Mm-hmm.
And my target number is 15. And yeah, okay, come on. Okay, I have a 20, which is not that great, but a 14 and a 5 are successes, and the 5 is double, so 3.
Yeah. So you will,
Now you got a lot of successes.
yeah, you've got
You didn't roll a 20.
you've got
Huh?
4 successes.
Huh? Oh, it's a 15.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
sorry.
that's
I
okay.
saw that. I read that wrong. Cool. And I got 4. I'll take that.
So you can have a couple momentum, and I'll tell you, you will realize that something has erased a chunk of like the processes and
Oh,
protocols, has wiped out a bunch of the things.
oh, that's not
Restoring
great.
that is going to require getting a backup,
Mm,
running diagnostics. It's going to take significant
yeah.
amount of time.
And we should
But
also
you,
figure out what it was before we just put it back up in,
yeah,
right?
right. So that's the sort of answer to the question that you had, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll realize that and kind of know what the status is. You've got 2 momentum that you could put in the
Mm-hmm.
pool, or you could ask a follow-up question with one of them or both of them.
Um, oh yeah, thank you. I have another question. Do I get determination for following my value earlier in the game?
No, we use that value to
Okay,
hit against your determination for that first part. Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, follow-up question. Yeah, the logical, sorry, follow-up question is what's doing that or did that? Is that
There is, I think now that you've gotten some details from the others about there being this
mhm.
energy in the area, it does seem like whatever Dr. DeVell has identified has caused this.
Okay, okay. Not okay.
Do we need
Uh,
to put that last momentum in the pool?
I think I have another question, and it's
Okay,
basically the
if you want to
same,
spend that, yeah, absolutely.
and that is basically the same as the valve aspect. Is there something we can shield our systems from that energy? Because putting up a backup while this thing is still around might not help. So, or how can we protect our systems from whatever that energy is?
It is anchored to the orb right now.
Oh, okay, so we need to get rid of the orb or the spirit in that orb or whatever.
The energy of that orb is anchored to that orb.
Yeah,
The energy that's doing this is anchored to that orb.
so that's the orb's energy that's doing the whole thing. Okay,
That's not
yeah.
what I said.
Oh, okay, it's anchored to the orb. Ah,
Let's cut
yeah,
to
okay, thank you.
the group like in that ready room, Captain. I think we're starting to get that kind of wild thing where some of the systems, like the lights are blinking wrong, and we're starting to get the kind of weird technical errors around, like the ship's comms are doing that thing where the voice talks and then does a, that kind of thing, just to show us that things are in chaos around here. Ward?
So I think our first option is to see how can we get that entity out of the orb, because I would hate to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say.
Mhm.
Safari, develop any ideas?
Well, in 2267, when the Enterprise was possessed by this entity, they managed to beam it uh, they beamed it out into deep space, which clearly did not solve the problem, just delayed it
Yeah.
for us to
Well,
encounter.
this is not the same entity, just to be absolutely clear about that.
Okay.
Just to, this is
Oh, okay. I thought
a
look, it could be. We don't
yeah.
know.
Well, for purposes of the storyline, I'm saying it's not the same.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah, sorry.
Well,
Okay.
a similar
So
entity.
we could beam it out of the orb.
Yeah, on I believe they used a dispersal pattern to separate it from its current host. We just need
Hmm.
to, fine tune. But again, we don't know if that will end the problem or just delay it, cause a problem for
And to
others.
be clear, that dispersal pattern meant beaming it out into space dispersed inside of a person. It did not beam the energy out. It beamed a container that had the energy in it.
Eh,
Yeah, they beamed the person out.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah,
don't
that
think that
sounds
was very
painful.
I don't know.
don't think that worked out very well for the person, right?
That person was already dead, but yes.
Oh, okay.
So my question then is, uh, and I can't believe I'm asking this, are we attached to this physical thing that we're calling the orb? Is that a
We
holy object or is it the...
it's a holy artifact for the Bajorans,
It
Commander.
is. It is. It is tainted right now, but from what you say, or from what I and it probably it might be cleansed.
If there was
Mr.
a
Mr.
way,
Varick, Mr. Varick, something inside you is telling you that what they really need to do is destroy the orb. That's the only way through this.
if there was a way to transport the entity onto one of, oh, we have many objects that we could, if we can
Just
figure out a
destroy
way.
it. Just destroy it. So, I apologize, Captain. It is getting harder for me to maintain control. It is taking
Well,
all my concentration to sit here amongst everyone.
how did that happen to you?
I appear to be infected.
Yeah, but how?
You mind melded with a Cardassian who was previously
Oh,
I
infected?
touched them multiple times against
mm,
my better judgment to save this crew, to do my duty.
Um, so, Mr. Varric, are you able to do a mind meld with something else and
I
transfer
believe
this
I've done enough
entity
mind
from
melds for one day.
Mr. Varric? Answer the goddamned question.
I can attempt another mind meld.
Can you identify something that this entity could inhabit instead of you?
It
That may
can,
be a role for Devel and Savari at this point. If that, I think that's a task here. Does that seem good?
Yeah.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, uh, Devel, you're the one who's kind of done the research on the radiation and what's gone on in the past. So, tell me what the process is that you're doing, and then Savari, are you good helping out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, Devel, Captain's kind of said to you that this is a theory. They need something that can store it. So, what are you
yeah.
doing?
Just looking into just replicating just a ball because it can inhabit inanimate objects. So
But it
she's
needs
just,
some
but
kind of
yeah, she's got to
animus
do some,
to grab onto. Yeah. So how are
yeah.
you create what how are you creating the animus, the like animate energy that it could hook into to
I
do
think it's
this?
like uh
Holodeck
coordinating the
program?
energy. What was that?
Holodeck program? I don't
Well, yeah,
know.
but it's coordinating the research that we have when,
Yeah.
running
Mhm.
tests.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
let's do that.
So you putting the sphere, creating an artificial entity using the hollow suite to generate that animate that Savari has suggested to create that. I love it. I think that's a
Yeah,
great idea, Savari. I think that's
we
a
can. Oh, we can Moriarty this.
I don't know what that means, but yeah, sure.
all right. So I think that this is going to be a control plus science roll for you, Devel.
Okay.
Um, and I do think actually your anthropology applies here.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
And
Study of past history.
yeah, and then Savari, I think that this is a reason plus engineering role with your computers being a
Okay.
specialty.
Okay. That
I'm going to
seems like.
spend a couple of my,
Mhm.
well, yeah, let's just take that on up there. Yeah, so I'm going to make this a difficulty 4.
Oh, okay.
Oof.
Oof,
I'm going
indeed.
to.
We still have one momentum.
Yes.
Cool.
I'm going to spend my determination.
Okay, so we
Mhm.
got 2 successes out of the gate.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Um,
And you
okay.
roll 1d20,
I
Savari.
roll 1d20. Okay.
let's see.
Doing that now. It's a 17. I'm sorry. I'm
Uh,
Yeah,
pretty I think I'm pretty
act with
distracted by it.
confidence, even if I don't feel confident, makes the most
okay.
sense for the values that I'm tapping into.
And Savari is that you will
Mhm.
feel that there is something inside you that is making this
Yeah.
harder to do. Like
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
is it? What do we see on screen that tells us that this wraith touched is interfering with your abilities?
I think at one point or another, you can see that Sivari has blue eyes. I think that her eyes kind of shift towards that violet thing, and she deletes the line that she's written, the computer program line, and deletes it. The eyes go back, and she's like, "What the hell? I had an idea, and it's gone now." And then she does the same thing, and then the eyes again go violet. I don't know if Devel notices that.
I mean, I think it's more interesting if I do. That way I
Yeah.
can.
Okay.
Hey,
No,
But
hey,
okay.
Savari,
Yeah.
take a breath. Let's just take a breath. Just look at me. Talk to me. We can get through this together.
Yeah, yeah. I keep getting these ideas, but they all don't work. I don't know why. I usually can do this. An engineer, excuse me. I was going to use a word that we don't have the PG for. Do we have PG-13? Can I say one fuck? Or should
I
I leave that to Ward?
well, it'll get bleeped, but yes. Devel, let's have you roll.
All right. So, debating. No, we got to save the momentum for Varric, I think, because he still has to do maybe has to do a crazy,
Yeah.
dangerous thing. All right. Oh, and Savari is assisting. Am I
Uh,
using the ship die as well?
yeah.
Okay, so all right. So close. But
So,
there's 2 successes on the dice.
well, let's see what the ship's die is. It's computers plus,
Oh, then it's definitely not 2 successes on the dice.
so it's
It's
1 success. So right now you've got the setup, but it may not work. We'll come
yeah.
back to that.
We got
So
3 successes so far though,
yeah,
right? So,
yeah. So tell
and how
me
many did we need?
4, because
Oh,
I spent that threat.
oh, joy.
So tell me what it is like we see on screen of you doing to set this hollow thing up. Like what are you creating a Moriarty? Are you creating an image of something else? Or what are you modeling there?
I think she's trying to modeling it after one of the deceased Cardassians that has already been infected.
Okay, absolutely. Captain Ward, uh, you will get a call from Tvilic. And we'll say, uh, Uh, internal sensors are still down, but tricorder just picked up phaser fire by Haskell's quarters.
Of course.
What do you do, Ward?
Hey, let's go.
We'll
Let's
see
call this
you.
a yellow alert for once.
Okay, go to yellow alert. Then we see you running
Yeah.
through the corridors. You will come to the hall. You will see that there's a crewman laid out in the hallway, and you can see that the door to Haskell's quarters is open. What do you do?
I stand, just outside the doorway, with my back to the bulkhead and say, Pascal,
And
are
you'll
you in there?
hear a voice, a woman's voice say, Captain Ward, please come in. Come in, come in, come in, come in.
Uh-oh.
Um, I mean, I shouldn't go in. This goes against my instincts, but maybe I'm the captain, so I'm the one who's got to do this, right?
You'll step into
So
the doorway, look inside, and you'll see Haskell is on the floor. He is bleeding.
Hmm.
Looks like he's been slashed a couple times. And you
Oh.
will see Lieutenant Sarkor standing there. She has her phaser out and she has it aimed at Haskell. And she says, oh, that's what I wanted. Your hate, your anger. I want you to be here when I kill him.
and I think I lower my phaser and I say, now to Villic, and like giving him the order to stun her.
You look around, you like expect that Tulik is there, but you look over and you see Tvilic is out on the
Okay.
ground. So let's roll
Um,
Oh.
back a second. You start to say that and you
okay.
look.
Under no circumstances will I allow you to kill Lieutenant Commander Haskell.
Do you want to do it? I'll certainly give you that because it'll be as delicious that way.
Uh,
Oh
and
gosh,
I'll
look at
raise my
that.
phaser at her and shoot her.
Okay, I think this is a contest here.
Ooh.
Um,
Uh,
I'm wondering, is me? I mean, I'm kind of doing the right thing instead of letting
Absolutely. I'll give
Haskell.
you that point of determination after the fact.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm going to
Um,
spend a threat here to give myself an extra die, and she's going to roll to shoot Haskell. Phaser
Hmm.
set to kill. And you are
okay.
also going to roll to try and hit her before she does that. So I'm going to roll 3d20.
So this is control or daring? I sort of shoot a phaser so seldom I can never remember.
I believe it is control plus security.
Okay,
Do you want to spend a
that's some
momentum?
good rolling. Do we have moment? Oh, we have, but we're leaving that for
Yeah.
Mr. Varek. So
Oh.
That's up to
yeah,
you.
I will keep. Well, I mean, I think he'll need it more than I, even though I'm rolling to fail basically.
Oh,
Um,
but your faith of your heart gives a momentum to the group pool because you are
but
gaining.
only after I gain the momentum,
It's
right?
when you use your values to gain it. So I'm going to give you the momentum now if you want to
Okay,
spend it.
okay, I'll spend it. So thank you.
Okay.
So that's an extra 3d20. Uh, so that is, sorry, control plus security is 13. So that is 3 successes.
3 successes. So that is a tie.
No.
So I think that you will hit her just as she's firing this off, and will drop her. But I do think that there is that shot that will hit Haskell,
Oh.
uh, and doesn't disintegrate him.
Mhm.
But you can see he is laying there bleeding out.
And yeah, I think I will
And something
pull
in your
Dr.
head
Wynn.
says, don't call medical. Don't call
Dr.
medical.
Wynn to Haskell's quarters. Medical
Don't
emergency.
call, and I think you are overcoming that voice in your head.
Um, and then while that's happening, I will say, Dr. DeVille, do you have a dispersal pattern ready? I have one subject for you.
Oh,
Devel?
Well, I mean, we're still waiting on Savari's roll
No,
because I
we
don't
already,
no,
know.
Savari
no,
it's
no,
already missed.
no, no. I
Oh, I
missed. I
missed that.
missed.
Oh
I
yeah,
Wow.
no,
missed.
Savari
That's
missed.
why. That's
Uh,
why I that my ears. I not ears. My eyes went uh purple.
whoops. I blanked on that.
Okay.
Um, I I don't. I'm sorry, Captain. I'm sorry, Commander. I don't think I. I need more time.
Varric, what are you doing to help with this situation?
The meeting room got very quiet because everyone left, and
Yes.
that makes me feel a lot better. But if they disperse this energy, what's is is am I still wraith touched?
What they're saying is they need to have something that has this energy in it that gets pulled into it, and then they're going to beam it out into space. And because of that, there is a sort of a quantum connection. The energy that's in you should disperse, hopefully, probably.
What am I doing to help? Um, I don't know.
So we've got the hollow suite that Devel is having trouble with. We've got Ward down with this person that's also infected that has gotten stunned down in Haskell's quarters, or we could go in an entirely new direction here.
I wonder. So I'm gonna go to Haskell's quarters,
Okay.
and I'm going to attempt to transfer the wraith touched to the bad guy, the person who
Okay.
showed.
To Sarkar,
Yeah,
okay.
Sarkar. Thanks.
Essentially to confirm and lock it in so
Yeah.
that even if there's delays from what Devel is doing. All right. I think that's a difficult test. You have mental discipline, so that would take the difficulty down to a 1 from a 2, but I'm going to spend a threat pool to bring that back up to a 2. Uh, and what do you think is appropriate for this mental control here? Control?
Uh, I'm going to say control
Control?
and science.
Science. Interesting. Okay. How is you that you're bringing your science to bear on this?
Because even though the Bajorans think this is, or I don't know, this is some kind of spiritual entity or something, it is really just another form of life. And I've made my whole life about studying life. So I'm just, that's what I'm applying to it.
All right. Let's have you make that roll.
Oh my goodness.
So you will transfer that over and trap it in that body. But the next thing you know, you are flying across the room as this figure stands up. Ward, a medical is just getting Haskell out of here when Sarkar rises up off the ground, stands up, and is like, I'm not done with you, Captain, and comes at you. And I'm going to spend my last threat to attack you, Captain.
Um, I feel like uh, it's always so sad when you're left without a threat pool. Maybe I'll jam that up to kill.
Okay. So
Uh,
you will be struck and you're going to take 6 stress. What does 6 stress in a single hit look like for you, Ward? Phaser's out of her hand. She does this just by swinging her arm.
yeah, I think you hear some very definite sounds of ribs breaking, and I think maybe there's,
You land over next to Mr.
medically
Varric.
improbable blood coming out of her mouth just from that one hit. Um, and I think, the her head slams into the floor, but I don't have Resolute for no reason.
That's right.
So I think through these kind of, I don't know, already kind of bloodshot eyes from this force, the open, and the phaser points up from prone and shoots.
Okay. Let's have you make that roll. Control plus security.
Um,
Difficulty 2.
Difficulty 2. I'm gonna keep taking from the momentum pool because
Yeah. You do have that
maybe I'll be able.
determination now.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah. Let me spend that, and I'll just roll two the old-fashioned way.
Okay.
Um, so that is one success on the dice.
One,
So yeah,
well, 2 successes,
plus
right?
three. Uh, I don't have any
Oh, yeah, no,
phaser
there's,
associated
yeah.
focuses. God no.
So you will hit her with that. And the body doesn't disintegrate. It is held intact by that energy field. But I do think there is a scream as it kind of, the body sags to the floor. Um, Mr. Varick, you're kind of lying there on the ground next to Ward as Ward fires off this phaser. What do you say to the captain?
Hell of a shot, Captain.
And I think there is grabbing up of this body. I think you have a choice here. You can either try to, with some risk, uh, get that hollow suite thing, then the transfer that way, or with no risk, you can beam this person out into space in a dispersal pattern. Captain?
Now, I mean, I'll look at the harried medical staff. Um, and I don't know, spit a little bit of extra blood and say, beam her out.
And you will do that. Devel, I think that you will hear through the speakers of the computer, you will hear this screech. You're still working on the hollow thing. When that goes through, when you hear the screech of this wraith thing as it is sent out into space and pulled away from the orb. And I think intrinsically you will realize that something was done that was drastic. And Savari and Varric, both of you who have connections to these things as it is blown out into space, you will feel it kind of rip out through you, a kind of a psychic shock wave that will drop you. But at the same time, like it feels cleansing. You're exhausted, but whatever was in you has gone out and away. Ward, before I kind of go to like end of session scenes here. Was that decision difficult? Was it challenging? Like, what do we see on your face, Captain? Because that was a hard call.
Yeah, I think maybe Varric sees through it, but Ward is very much acting right now as if she had no choice. But, is it the first time she's had to make a command decision leading to the death of another person? Certainly in these kind of stark terms. So that's going to stick with her.
Okay. 2 sessions a week, Captain. And so I think we cut to the ship is out of Cardassian space. I think that yellow alert has gone down. Sensors are back online. And so, Savari, I want to give you a chance for an end of session, end of series scene with a PC, with an NPC. What do we want to see for you here?
I think,
Do you want to talk to one of the Bajorans? Do you want to talk to one of the PCs? Do you want to talk to the Gull?
no, I don't want, still don't want to talk to the guy. What would I say to them? I think I would like to maybe talk to, actually, I think I would like to talk to Deval because she is divorced from this whole thing and she figured it out. And I think I also need to talk to a Vedic, but that needs to happen back on Bajor, but I assume we're going there anyway. So for now, I want to talk to Deval and kind of apologize because I think I think this thing that was in me and I couldn't for the life of me write that code that would have done the thing, right, with a hologram. I think that endangered people, and I don't know what to do now.
We both were struggling under the time pressure.
Yeah, I wasn't.
This isn't your fault. This is an ancient entity. We were all suffering.
But I didn't struggle with the time pressure or anything. I was struggling with the fact that I had something in me that was making me mess up. That's
Do you not,
different.
but aren't you hearing yourself? An outside entity was interfering with you. Anyone
Yeah,
would have struggled the same way.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I'm sorry. So I'm saying I feel like I failed. I know what you're gonna say now. I didn't, but I still feel like it. Okay, that's
I
I'm not
failed
a.
too. A woman died because of my inability. And I wasn't being controlled by anyone. I just failed.
Yeah, but I was supposed to help you. You weren't alone. You shouldn't have been alone in this. You didn't even realize it. I think. I think. I think I need a good long session with the Vedic. And cleansing and all of that thing and having my paw cleaned out and whatever. But for right now, I need a drink. Will you share one with me?
Um, Certainly.
Cool.
Mr. Varick, what are we seeing for you here?
I think I'm packing up my quarters, getting ready to disembark and begin my new assignment. And I'm wondering if what's her name? Ensign Farga
Yeah,
is hanging out with me.
she is kind of watching you put everything away. And You know, she's kind of hesitant, but she's saying, I really, I'm glad you're able to get back in with the Institute like you wanted.
This has been a tremendous learning experience for me. And I would say that the main thing that I've learned is that although Starfleet is to be respected and is uh, necessary for our universe, it is not for me.
Uh, I know you say that, but uh, you aren't the kind of person that we need in Starfleet. I'd be sorry to see you go.
I too will miss you and the rest of the crew. Um, as I say, I learned a lot from them. And although Starfleet needs people like me, it doesn't need me. And I certainly did not derive the satisfaction from my efforts here that I think many good Starfleet officers normally would.
I I hope that you find what you are looking for, Mr. Merrick. I really do.
Thank you for your well wishes. Once a patient of mine, always a patient of mine. So if you ever need me to check in on your systems, or please do come by Vulcan.
I will certainly keep that in mind. I think of course, we do that classic, you know, you putting your bag up on your shoulder to kind of signal that
Yes,
Devel,
holding a box.
yes,
Yes.
all in a box. What would you like for this end scene here?
Um, I think Devel and Ward are having Astrid are having a one-on-one together. I don't know where we should set it though.
In the graveyard or, you know,
No, I think just like a holodeck thing that we're doing.
okay. What's the program?
It's the surfing thing, but
Okay.
mostly we're just sitting on the beach right now.
I'm not sure Ward is up for strenuous physical activity yet. Doctor's orders, you know.
Mm, yeah. Still, it's a relaxing beach. So, how are you holding up?
I guess I have to remind myself that this is what I wanted. And it is just not sure I expected it to be this hard this quick.
Yeah. I don't I don't know what I would have done in your position. I mean, Savari blames herself, I blame myself. Where everybody seems to be blaming themselves.
Well, I am ultimately responsible, so you don't have to do any of that.
If only it worked that easy, Astrid. Um, you know, our Orion passenger offered me a position as like chief of science of this new initiative she's trying. She's not a criminal, surprisingly.
Just recruits for them?
She wants to move Orion forward to be respectable. But I don't know.
I mean, that sounds good, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna keep in touch with her, but It's not the same as exploring the stars.
No, but I mean, it's got to be tempting, right?
To be partially, but like Starfleet's my family. Well, my other family.
Yeah.
I mean, what's more impressive? Being the first Orion captain of a Federation ship or just being another Orion in an Orion fleet?
An Orion that changes their planet forever.
Mm, no
I
way.
mean,
I can never.
uh, hey, I know how I'd answer that question, but that's me, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. After everything that happened, I'm second guessing my thoughts, but I don't know. Just wanted to talk to you. See where you're at.
Um, where am I at? I mean, I'm doing all right. I don't think I can be any more effusive or positive, but um, yeah, I just gotta make sure. I gotta make sure my crew is all right, and if that means leaving the ship, if it's for their own
Well, I mean, I think we
good,
all could use some shore leave for sure. And captains due back pretty soon. So you've got shore leave stacked up. I've got shore leave. Do you want to come with me to my brother's wedding?
could ask where it is, but I don't care. Yeah, I think we should. I think we could do
Absolutely.
that.
And then Ward, what is the last scene that we're going to see from you for this?
Um, I think it might be seeing Haskell off the ship
Okay.
if he has vaguely recovered, or maybe he's still in ICU or whatever. But
He is injured, classic, arm in a sling kind of thing as he's getting ready to leave.
maybe
Permission,
I'll meet him in
yeah,
the transporter room,
yeah.
right?
Permission to disembark, sir.
Permission granted.
He
What's next
looks
on your agenda?
my agenda. My agenda is to continue my tour of rehabilitating my image here in Starfleet, of making myself useful in Starfleet so that we win this war. And when we've won it, people know that I contributed to the victory.
Well, I have to give you some advice. When you're playing a team game, you need to show your cards.
And he'll step closer and he says, well, let me show you my hand. I'm going to have a command after all of this is said and done. And then, when that is all said, and I'm seated in that command chair, I'm going to make it my mission to destroy you. Captain.
And I'll nod at the transporter chief.
And he'll step on the pad. It's good to see you again, Astrid.
Good luck with that, Mr. Haskell.
And I think that is where we are going to end the season with that note there. Uh so uh thoughts, stars, end notes here. Dan?
That was great. Um, I uh, I don't know. That was a lot of fun. That was
Good. Good.
that
Yeah,
was a story.
that's all I want to know. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I do want to give a star to Devel and Savari for trying their best at the end there to come up with something to send this wraith to. Sorry, it didn't work out. So,
Sabine, anything you want to give a shout out to?
Oh yeah, I love this dive into orbs. I was really excited to see that thing. And I love the whole, oh, everybody's infected because we've seen this in Star Trek so many times. And it was like I felt like, oh my gosh, will we make it? Will we survive? Will everybody be infected, become a murdery person? So yeah, that was fun, and I really loved Dan. I really loved Varric being so emotionally overcome with this wraith that infected
That was a
him.
great moment. Yeah.
That was great. I love that. So yeah, it was super fun. I yeah.
I appreciate your pause with the orb thing. Like I'm glad we could set that up, and I'm glad you took that pause and came back on
Mhm,
that. Like that was that felt like
mhm,
a better scene because you didn't jump into that choice. I thought that
mhm,
was great.
mhm. Okay.
Jolene?
Yeah, this was rough. Like good rough, you know. Poor Astrid had to make the tough call to kill a woman. But like, this is just like everything was falling apart and it's very DS9-y in a
Hmm.
lot of ways. And I love the twist that it wasn't a Wraith, it was just like another one of those red jacks. Because I was like, oh, thank God.
I imagine that now there's arguments on the fan board. Well, are the are some forms of the paw wraiths actually these things? I think that's going to be a whole thing.
Yes, well, I know what I believe.
Right, absolutely. We're not going to set it in canon so people can argue over it on the board. So, but I'm glad you approved of my original series reference there. So, uh, and Donna,
Yeah, I mean, fantastic session and like a very like a two-parter, right, with two completely different kind of challenges to it. Um, and yeah, I really love the kind of the corner you had for our Bajoran character and the NPCs, of like when Ward first um suggests getting rid of it, it's like no, no, and then it's like, oh, well, maybe it isn't, so um this continuum, and also Dan Vark was great today. I mean, as usual, but like I think we had some opportunity of seeing him, in a different state of mind than usual, and that was a lot of fun. And in general, Lowell, I like a great series, a great second season, and yeah, I hope we see it back again.
yeah, I
Yeah.
really like these
Can't wait for
characters.
season 3.
Yeah, yeah. I really like these characters. I've enjoyed the two-parters, kind of focusing in on that, and I thought this was a good one. Um, and uh, kitchen sinked it a little in terms of throwing things in there, just so we could have a bunch of things to deal with. Uh,
That'd be
th
nice.
Thank you all so much. I'm going to stop the recording.